Guys, this is one of those videos.
I just want to give thanks to whoever's listening, my soul star family. You guys are the healing factor, this ability for us to kind of deconstruct some of these, I would say, like collective traumas. I feel like a lot of other people have gone through similar things on some level. So just being able to talk about it means everything to me, and I myself have worked basically as a counselor that deals with a lot of trauma with other people and the stuff that they're working through. It is so valuable for me to just have an outlet where I can just be completely creative. The people that are here on my channel, that are here for the true content that really moves me, that means the world to me. Like, the fact that you're actually listening to my radio show, it means a lot. And I do feel like I can say the things that I really want to say in this style, like this podcast style type radio show type of vibe. I'm not trying to look a certain way. I'm literally just expressing my heart. And trust me, I know that the dark forces are listening, and I honestly don't care, because this is like looking back on the things that I've done on YouTube. I have realized that it's been like these moments that were the most valuable. The time where I looked like head on to the things that were actually really like devastating me and keeping me like in this smaller version of myself. And I was able to come on here and like express that to you. And the gift in the growth was exponential. I can, at this time in my journey, just speak so candidly. I'm actually in a really good place, but so relaxed. And it is this. So, like I said, I'm candid now because I've worked through a lot of this stuff. I feel like what is important to me is to maybe reach a person or multiple people who feel that they are lost, that they have no identity. I was in this place, and it was so scary for me, and I went into a hole, like a really deep, dark hole within myself, and this was right when I was getting out of college. I was really young, like 21, and the issues that I was dealing with, like, people literally had no clue how to meet me on a soul level, on any level. Like, I was just feeling totally disconnected and alienated. And like, that's when I feel like basically like the fabric of my family, the connection started to unravel, because I was not being met on this new level that I had just newfound, grown into my spiritual life, into who I was identifying with. They basically were rejecting what I was experiencing. So I was left very numb to that experience. Like, I felt very lost, like I said. So I was basically open to what happened to me because of the fact that I had no support. Basically, the foundations of my family were being like torn apart. And long story short, I have two theories about it. I'm pretty sure that these folks that were like somehow my earth family, which I think I call them like fosters, they turned on me when I was learning about my own liberation. And I have like this theory that they were like, solid government agents. I was rebelling. So that foundation was being torn away. Number two theory about my Earth family was that they were taken over by these predators. These galactic predators take over humans that are basically like drones. They can be used like remote controlled, And I just saw these people like just so, I don't know, just so lame, like didn't take care of their soul. And basically I felt harmed and traumatized by my own connection to my family. So I was open to this experience of being communal, basically, with a new family per se. And that is where Sedona came in so beautifully. For many years, there was this, camaraderie. And I think I, like, didn't really let myself, like, remember that aspect due to so much, like, betrayal. But there was at a time where I was, like, totally held. I was, like, popular. I was in the mix. Like, I held, like, the energy, like, a big part of it in this cult slash community. And you listening to this just validates that I create.
I, I, I am Emperor.
Who I commune with. It's not, something that is forced upon me. And that's what I think people get themselves mixed up with in terms of accidentally being part of basically communities that are toxic, is that you almost feel inclined to participate. These ideas that are put out there and somehow basically energetically forced upon you, you feel that it is okay, if I'm meant to be in this group, then I have to somehow allow this energy to be forced upon me. This is my new identity. And for me, it was confusing. Like I said, I'd just come out of college and I was just kind of a free roamer. Like, I just was interested in spirituality, but the biggest thing that I was really there for was the land. I honestly couldn't believe what I was experiencing. I was like a hiker for the first time, and I just was outdoorsy, and that was my plan. And unfortunately, being in this particular area sort of exposed me to this radical, extreme group mindset. And there is very much such thing as group mobbing. And that is basically why I wanted to make this video, was because of the fact that I suffered extreme amounts of like psychological pain and emotional trauma due to being group mobbed. And the fact that I'm able to make this video, I'm still here, and that I've survived that. And there's been a few videos that I've put out, and some people are going to say, well, you're being redundant and don't be a victim. No, I'm very much in my victory, but there is a sort of flow of release over the years that has naturally occurred when you experience like this whole ripping of foundation of family, a re-identification with a new group that turns into sort of this, group mobbing slash rejection of your new identification. Because what happened was I had befriended this community, and after maybe 5 or 6 years, of course, I go through Saturn return and I become this new woman. And guess what? You guys got to see that version. My first YouTube video was basically very much me wanting to share my knowledge as a spiritual teacher because of the things that I had grown through. So my intention for YouTube at that moment was like, okay, I've gone into this whole nother world. I'm going to try to ground in. I'm going to try to connect with human beings. And YouTube is a perfect place. And as time progressed a little bit, you know, I started gaining little subscribers. I'd probably had like 500 subscribers. And all of a sudden, like, things started changing my life. And that was the time when I left my house in the canyon. And I started living full time, like off grid, and I started to really find myself. And that was truly when I had let go of my earth family, and I was starting to see the fabric of my space family in that community start to unravel as well, due to the fact that I was no longer abiding in their ideas of who they thought I was. I wasn't showing up to some of their parties, you know. I was getting tattoos and changing and being a different person, and that's when the attack occurred. There was a moment, like I said, I had gained a little subscribers, and I had also decided to not pay rent and live like self-sustainably, and there was like this bite that came. I don't know what it was or who it really like came from specifically, but this was only like the beginning of what was happening. I was being coerced. Like, I was basically feeling like I was being pushed in the corner and being told no. There was like this force every time I would start to like publish new videos. Oh my gosh, you guys, like in the very beginning of my YouTube career, I would publish videos and I would get like electronic attack because I was not selling anything and I was not buying anything. Like I said, I was basically I was going into like freelancing, living in this very potent place, and the people around me, the others that I had called family, friends, had begun to totally turn on me. And I'm not talking 2 or 3 people. I'm not talking 5, 6, or even 10 people. I am talking basically an entire community. And I'm not talking just a little gossip here and there. This form of backlash, black magic, was threatening enough for me to seek help. I garnered myself, and I realized that I needed my own gang of clear-thinking, heart-based souls that could counteract this attack. And that's where you guys came in. And ever since, it's been this holding of my own, allowing for my own journey into Christ consciousness, not being sold into satanic industry, is a human right of mine. And that is what we are exercising here today. It's that free speech, the allowance of one to be one's own voice. And that is rare. I couldn't understand why I was being rejected. I couldn't understand why I was being like forced out. It was like these people were saying, no, we own this land, we own you and your message, and what you're doing is out of our jurisdiction. So what we're going to go ahead and do, and this is what they did, we're going to take your content, we're going to actually spread it around to different creators. And also we're going to sell it as our own. And not only that, we're going to force you out. We're going to hide, make sure that you're not seen. So the punishment was real. That was the point in time I was realizing, like, okay, I'm not growing, like, I'm not being asked to be worked with. Like, people aren't wanting to connect with me or like collab. And the people that did collab with me, they deleted all of our content. And I was seeing that, okay, I'm being ousted out of like my own state. These people, a lot of these people aren't even from this country, by the way. And I was seeing like, okay, like I can't even live in the place close, a couple hours away from where I was born. So I left, and that was the time when I started really connecting with you guys and this community and everything that we've explored in the last like decade has been to support that journey. So the stealing, the stalking, the sabotage, it has gone on for years, and there was a time where I definitely would have labeled myself a human sacrifice. That's how bad it got, and I started to reach out to you, amazing wizards, sorcerers of light yourself, who are just not going to stand for this type of debauchery. I can't call the cops. I am the galactic cop. That's what the whole issue was that this type of character, these types of influencers would not have free reign. You see, there is a consequence, and my state, where I'm from, they're starting to recognize, okay, we can't just go into Sedona and buy into this. What is this collective? Who are these people? And what do they stand for? And that's exactly what's starting to happen now, is that those questions are starting to be collectively questioned. These questionable characters are starting to be questioned. People that join cults or really like extremist groups, they don't always know what they're getting into. I would say like most of the time they don't. It's just because of the fact that they are so weak. They have nothing to stand on. They have nothing to grasp. And yet there's like this place that is seen as a mecca. Like, these people are like me. They're eccentric and they're the black sheep of the black sheep, like me. And yet it's still not, a healthy dynamic. And I feel like I'm talking to anybody who's maybe younger, who is going through this transition after college. You're not feeling like yourself. Just know that you actually have all the answers. You have a lot of them. And whatever you do, just do not turn to other people that you think know better. Because odds are you just need to meditate more. You just need to tune in more to your higher self. And those people are actually probably really predatory if they're trying to actually really tell you how to live your life. So I think that's my message. And I already know how therapeutic this is. I didn't even publish this yet. So thank you. So when you're being bullied, the best counteractive move is to check that bully. To basically, like Bruce Lee says, be like water. Use their flow against them by sending it right back. For me, I use the shamanic mirror. This video itself is acting in the way of showing my bullies, haters, predators, whatever you want to call them, I'm giving them a glance. I'm letting them see. You can't get away with the things that you've done, and there is a drastic change in my experience, and I am
living in my joy. Thank you. I love you guys.